Hi guys, welcome back. So in this video what we will do is we will learn about the virtual machine, the availability zone. So in this case I'm on the virtual machine UI, and if you can see here on the virtual machine, this part, the availability zone, we have multiple options here in the availability options. So if you see here, there are three options here. One is a no infrastructure redundancy required, and what does this mean is so if I select a region, now let me go back and show you a diagram here. So this one, so if you see here on the left hand side, Azure says there is an Azure region here, and this region is nothing but here, for example, say if I'm selecting a central US, so you can select any of the region which is as per your application and as per your requirement. So let's take an example of central US. This is my region. Now this region can have multiple availability zones. So if you see a zone 1, zone 2 and zone 3, so region is nothing but it consists of multiple zones. Now I have three options here. So first is I just select a region, and then I leave upon Azure to go and select any of the zone which is as per the whatever, like Azure sounds good or Azure feels good, and he can Azure can go and select the zone for me. But second option is I can go and say, okay, I need a specific availability zone in this region, so I can go and select a, so there are three, so always there will be a 3 availability zone in a specific region. So I can select 1, then I can select 2, or I can select 3. So any of the 3 regions, 3 zone I can select in this region. So if you see here, I'm selecting US Central region, and then in this I can select zone 1, zone 2 and zone 3. So if you read this text, what it says here is this composed of 3 distinct physical and logical location within the zone, within the region, and the availability zone provides the replication of the application data, and each zone is made up of 1 or more data centers. So if you see here, I have 3 zones, and in each zone I can have more than one data center. So this is very important, because if that data center goes down in that zone, at least your application will be live migrated by Azure to the second data center in the same zone. And similarly, this constructs the element data center as a single point of failure and reduces the exposure to the localized failure event. So what happens is your application can be in multiple zones, and if you keep your application only in one zone, and if the one of the data center of that zone goes down, then Azure will try to migrate this to the different data center in the same zone. So now let's go back and see what is the second option we have here. So we have seen like what is availability zone in a specific region. So I can have multiple 3 different zones where I can keep my VM machines. Now in the real production production example, what will happen is we will need multiple sets, or multiple you can say a zone where I will go and keep my virtual machine. So now let's see what is an availability set here. So now in the availability set, I can go and I can create a new set. So now what exactly it is? So now you can group 2 or more VMs in a set to ensure that at least one is available during the maintenance event, which is planned or unplanned. So now I can give here a name is test availability zone, something of this kind. Now there are 2 concepts here. One is a fault domain and one is the update domain. So now what is a fault domain? Fault domain is something which says virtual machine in the same fault domain share a common power source and a physical network. So let me go back and show you what exactly it means. So now if you see here, this is a Microsoft Azure document. So I have selected a VM Azure set which belongs to a region, for example say region 1 here, which is given on the left hand side. And if you see here, there is a compute cluster and there is a virtual machine. So now this virtual machine VM01, VM1 and VM0, VM1 and VM2, these are 3 different virtual machines, and they belong to 3 different fault domain, FD0, FD1 and FD2. So this is what exactly will happen when you will select an availability set, and in that set you will have multiple VMs, and this VM is basically across the multiple different availability zone which belongs to a region. So let me again go back to my portal. So here I am selecting a region as, if you see here, region is Central US, and in that Central US, what I am saying, I want to make a set, and in that set you can select a fault domain, and you can say okay, my machine can be should belong to in such a fault domain that if one of the network or the common power source goes down, then it should not impact my second machine. So now this availability zone will have more than one VM which will be part of this entire configuration. So now what is an update domain? So now update domain is something where Azure basically go and put patches on that specific domain. So now if you see here, there are five update domains what we have selected here, 1 2 3 4, and this is 5. So now what will happen is, if so now again if I go back to my diagram to make it more easy. So if you see here, this is FD0, which is your fault domain, FD1 and FD2, and this UD0, UD1 and UD2, these are your update domains. Now if Microsoft, if Azure goes and restarts this update domain to put a patch or something, so any of the machine which belongs to it update domain will be impacted, and any other machine which belongs to any other update domain which will not be impacted. This is the use, or this is the, you can say, use of update domains here. So now for example, if I say if I have 20 virtual machines, if I have 20 update domains, and what will happen is in each update domain, so Microsoft Azure will go and restart this first update domain, then second, third, fourth, and then finally till the 28th update domain. Now my machines which belongs to one domain will be impacted if this is restarted, but the second domain, third domain till the 20 domain, it will not be impacted. So for example, say if I have five update domain, and each domain has 4 machines. So now if this update domain is restarted because of patching, the next 3 or 4 domains will be still intact, and my virtual machine will be up and running in that domain, and my application will not be impacted. So in this way, I can have a resilience, and I can have you can say a fault tolerance in my application. So in the production environment, even though if one of the fault domain or one of the domains goes down because of the network issue or because of the power failure, and my update domain, if Azure is going and updating in that specific domain and applying any patches, my application will not be impacted. So this is very important to understand when we are creating availability set here. So hopefully this was useful to you guys, and it made more sense and added value. And I will put all these links in the description below, so it will explain what is the region and how the region can have multiple availability zone, and how you can have this availability set, and how you can have multiple fault domain in that availability set. And similarly, in each fault domain you can have multiple update domain, and if that update domain is impacted or is restarted because of some patching or something, it will not be impacting your virtual machine. So hopefully this was useful to you guys. Thanks for watching.